I think there's 30,000 people outside. The views from our chopper are insane. We've never seen anything like this before, and St. Louis is showing up. I saw somebody commented asking if there's any suspensions tonight. No, there's not. And in fact, the Blues are getting a player back from suspension. Ivan Barbashev is back on that fourth line, and that's going to be a big addition.
I got Zach Sanford tonight.
You got Zach Sanford.
Zach Sanford. He's looked great back in the lineup. He's back home here in New England.
Dallas, San Jose, Boston for a third time, but this is it. Somebody's going to win the Stanley Cup tonight.
The 5 on Your Side Sports Desk is sponsored by Mattress Direct.
Here we are just a few games from the midway point in the season for the Cardinals, and I still don't think we're sure what kind of team we have on our hands. They were the best team in baseball in April, fell on their face with a 9-18 May, and they're getting ready to finish up a truly mediocre June that only went under the radar because of St. Louis's focus on the Blues. For months now, it seemed like this team can never put together a complete performance. Take last night, for example. 37-year-old Adam Wainwright throws 6 2/3 innings of impressive baseball, striking out 9 and only allowing 2 solo home runs. In the offense, they give you absolutely nothing. Since the end of April, the club is at or near the bottom in nearly every offensive statistic. So, Paul Goldschmidt, what else is there to do?
We're not executing as well as we need to, and it starts with me. And when you look at it, everyone's looking at themselves first, and you got to go out there and do a better job. And I haven't done a good enough job to help us win. Tonight was a example of that, not really getting on base or doing anything.
This team could use a bit of mid-2000s era Albert Pujols right about now, and St. Louis and baseball are still buzzing after Albert's return this past weekend. Writers, players, managers, pretty much everyone saying they'd never seen anything like it. The Pujols weekend was a nice little distraction from the lethargic 2019 Cardinals, wasn't it? How many memories did you relive over the past few days? The next time Albert will be in Busch Stadium will likely be when he's getting his number retired, but if it were up to him, every weekend would be like last weekend.
If I get to come tomorrow and do it again here, I'll do it in a heartbeat. So I enjoy the game of baseball. I felt like this weekend, it's almost like, it took me back in 2011 when we were in the playoff. If I had to do it again tomorrow or next week, let's go, because this was fun.
Well, the Cardinals are now in the criticism crosshairs of St. Louis sports fans. The Blues, they still can do no wrong. The party rolled into the Cardinals' crib last night at Busch Stadium, where Ryan O'Reilly, Alex Pietrangelo, Pat Maroon, and Craig Berube in that nice new contract gave Cards fans pretty much the only St. Louis highlight of the night when they paraded the Stanley Cup around. Cardinals pitcher Adam Wainwright is one of the few guys left on the Cardinals who remembers just how on top of the world it feels to win a championship.
The first couple weeks after you win, everywhere you go, everyone goes crazy. I remember after 06, I was eating at Bandana's Barbecue, and I got a standing O in Bandana's Barbecue. I'll never forget it. It's one of my favorite moments of my life, and the St. Louis fans were just amazing, and I know they're treating these guys the same exact way.
Wainwright also said he made sure to give the Stanley Cup a big old smooch when it visited the locker room before the game, and let me just say, with the number of people that have put their mouths on that thing in the last 2 weeks, I hope it travels with some pretty effective disinfectant. That's it for sports. We'll be right back.
New Athens, Illinois dirt bike racer Tyler Brandenburger has always been chasing his dreams. 4 years ago, that dream briefly turned into a nightmare. Now Tyler has made his dreams a reality. Corey Miller from 5 on Your Side has the story.
Tyler Brandenburger knows ups and downs. As a dirt bike racer, the New Athens native has cleared quite a few obstacles in his days on the dirt, going back to when he was just a kid.
It was just the feeling of an adrenaline rush when I was that young. It was addicting.
But one day in 2015 forced Tyler to adapt to an obstacle unlike anything he had faced before.
I just got sideways, the bike kicked sideways, my feet flew off the pegs, and I was just on for the ride at that point. And whenever I landed, I knew that my leg was broke.
He was rushed to the hospital, and the next few days would change his life forever.
They tried to find a pulse in my foot, and they couldn't do that. I remember they brought in at least 20, 25, 30 nurses, and none of them could find a pulse, and at that time they were starting to freak out, and they're like, all right, you know, we got to get you into surgery like right now.
When they brought Tyler out of that first surgery, he heard that dreaded word, amputation. He woke up from his second surgery without a right leg, but he did keep his most important asset, his positive spirit.
Really, the only thing I wanted to do was go ride my dirt bike, honestly. I knew that there was still the chance if I stayed on my dirt bike and stayed positive about it that I could possibly turn this whole injury around into something way more positive than what it is.
Tyler worked his way back onto a bike with the help of a new prosthetic, and soon a new unexpected door opened when Snowbike came calling.
I'd never rode anything in the snow, not even a dirt bike, nothing.
But with some help of some friends in the racing industry, Tyler was knee-deep in the world of snowbike racing.
It all just happened so quick, you know, it was just one phone call, led to another phone call, and then that led to this, and then all of a sudden I'm in Minnesota trying to qualify for the X Games.
Tyler ran well enough up in Minnesota to get an invite to Aspen for the big show, the 2019 Winter X Games.
I had to question, like, is this really, like, am I really here? Like, am I really here as an athlete doing this? People are back here in New Athens, you know, super small town, and, you know, just thinking, like, that's where I grew up, and that's where I'm from, that's where I call home, and I'm here at X Games, and just, you know, in Aspen, Colorado. It was just so surreal, the whole thing.
The former New Athens Yellow Jacket wasn't about to just take his trip to Aspen and be done with it, though. His fist pump after he crossed the finish line in second place in the medal race told the rest of the story.
The silver medal here today, the young gun, Tyler Brandenburger.
When asked what his 5-year-old self would be doing if he saw his 23-year-old self wearing an X Games medal around his neck, Tyler couldn't hold back his excitement.
Getting his autograph. No, he'd probably be freaking out.
4 years ago, Tyler Brandenburger was in the ultimate valley after losing his leg doing what he loved most. But it didn't take him long to ride back to the top. His message for anyone going through a struggle of their own?
It's what I love to do, and that's what I tell someone, you know, just find something you love to do and just go for it, you know, 110%, just go for it.
Great story. Tyler credits his family and friends for his comeback and for keeping him positive when the outlook didn't look so bright.